Have you ever felt like no matter how much you try, something or someone always manages to shake your peace? Maybe a partner's silence feels like rejection, a friend's betrayal feels unbearable, or life's unpredictability just keeps pulling you down. Tell me honestly, have you ever wondered what it would be like to wake up and nothing could ruin your inner calm? No insult, no heartbreak, no failure, because that's exactly what the Stoics mastered. And today we're diving deep into 7 timeless lessons from Stoicism that can truly reshape how you think, feel, and love, and help you become like a true Stoic. So before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and watch till the very end, because one of these lessons might just transform not only your peace, but also your love life. Let's begin. First lesson: you can't control the waves, but you can control your boat. Let me ask you something. Have you ever loved someone so much that their mood decided your mood? When they were happy, your world felt like sunlight. But when they were cold or distant, everything inside you went dark. Maybe you've been there, waiting for their text, staring at your phone, heart pounding with every notification. You replayed every conversation, every word, trying to figure out where things went wrong. And the more you thought, the deeper the waves of anxiety pulled you under. It's almost like you were standing on the shore of love, watching waves crash. And every wave was their silence, their distance, their change, and you couldn't stop it. You felt helpless, right? But here's the truth the Stoics discovered long ago. You can't control the waves, but you can control your boat. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Those words aren't just philosophy, they're survival. Because the moment you stop trying to control how someone feels about you and start mastering how you respond, something powerful happens. Peace enters. Imagine this: your partner suddenly becomes distant again. But this time, instead of panicking, you breathe. Instead of chasing, you reflect. You tell yourself, their silence doesn't define my worth. My peace is mine to protect. That's when you stop being a passenger in love, tossed around by every emotion, and start steering your own boat. Life will always have waves, rejection, heartbreak, confusion, but your power lies in how you navigate them. And the more you control your boat, the calmer your ocean becomes. Because true love, my friend, starts not when you control someone else, but when you finally learn to control yourself. Lesson number 2. Pain is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever loved someone so deeply that when they left, it felt like your whole world stopped? That kind of pain where your chest feels heavy, your eyes burn, and even the air feels heavier to breathe. You scroll through old chats, replay old memories, and suddenly even your favorite songs become unbearable because they remind you of them. We've all been there, that quiet, lonely place after heartbreak, wondering why me? Why does it hurt so much? Why does love that once felt so right now feel like a punishment? But here's what the Stoics teach us. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." And that's the secret right there. Pain isn't here to destroy you, it's here to shape you. Think back to that heartbreak. At first it shattered you, but slowly, didn't it also open your eyes? Didn't it teach you what self-respect really means? Didn't it show you that loving someone too much while forgetting yourself only leads to emptiness? Pain is life's most honest mirror. It shows you the truth you were avoiding. Maybe you were giving too much, trusting too easily, or ignoring the signs your heart already knew. And through that ache, you learned boundaries, strength, and the courage to walk away when love no longer feels safe. You see, when everything is perfect, we learn nothing. But when life breaks us, that's when wisdom enters. So instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What is this pain trying to teach me?" Because every scar tells a story of survival, growth, and rebirth. And one day you'll look back and realize the pain that once made you cry was the very thing that made you strong enough to never break again. Lesson number 3. What you think about most shapes your life. Let me ask you something real. How many nights have you spent lying awake, replaying the same memory over and over again? That moment when they walked away, that text they never replied to, those words that still echo in your mind. You keep thinking about what you could have said, what you should have done differently, and before you even realize it, your whole world starts revolving around that pain. Every song, every place, every little thing reminds you of them. You smile in front of others, but inside, your thoughts are screaming their name. My friend, your mind is powerful, more powerful than you think. And the Stoics knew that thousands of years ago. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." But what he truly meant is this: what you feed your mind becomes your reality. If you constantly think about rejection, you'll start believing you're unworthy. If you replay pain, your heart will never heal. But if you shift your thoughts, even just a little, everything begins to change. Let's imagine this. Instead of asking, "Why did they leave me?" you start asking, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of thinking, "I wasn't enough," you start thinking, "I'm growing into the person I'm meant to be." And slowly, your heart begins to heal. You start seeing beauty in silence. You realize that your thoughts aren't chains, they're choices. The Stoics believed our mind is like a garden. If you keep watering weeds, fears, doubts, regrets, they'll take over. But if you start planting gratitude, self-respect, and peace, your mind will bloom again. So right now, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what are you thinking about the most these days? Because those thoughts are quietly creating your tomorrow. Change your thoughts, and you change your world. That's the Stoic secret to inner peace and to true emotional freedom. Lesson number 4. Stop chasing validation. Be your own approval. Let me ask you something deep. How many times have you changed yourself just to be liked? You softened your tone, hid your opinions, even laughed at things that weren't funny, all because you didn't want to lose someone's attention. You started wearing what they liked, saying what they wanted to hear, becoming what they needed, while slowly losing yourself. And when they finally pulled away, you looked in the mirror and realized you didn't even recognize the person staring back. I know that feeling, the ache of trying to prove you're enough for someone who couldn't see your worth. It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's what the Stoics would whisper to your heart. You don't need their validation to be valuable. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that. You love yourself the most, yet you hand over your peace to people who might not even stay. You let their opinion decide your mood, your confidence, your worth. But here's the truth. When you constantly seek validation, you become a puppet in other people's hands. You smile when they smile at you. You break when they ignore you. And that's no way to live. The Stoic way is different. It teaches you to stand tall, even if no one claps. To know your value, even if no one praises you. To walk away, even if it means walking alone. Because the moment you stop needing approval, you become magnetic. People start feeling your strength, your calm, your quiet confidence. You no longer chase, you attract. So stop trying to be loved by everyone. Be proud of the person who survived everything meant to break you. Because that person, you, doesn't need validation to shine. You already are enough. Lesson number 5. Acceptance is not weakness, it's power. Let me ask you something. Have you ever held on to someone, knowing deep down they'd already let go? You kept fighting for conversations that felt one-sided. You tried harder, loved louder, and waited longer, because some part of you believed love could fix everything. And when they finally walked away, you felt empty. It wasn't just the loss of a person, it was the loss of hope. You lay awake wondering, why did this happen? Why couldn't I make them stay? That's when Stoicism gently enters the room and whispers, acceptance isn't giving up, it's setting yourself free. Epictetus said, don't seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will go on well. Those words carry healing power, because real peace begins not when life goes your way, but when you stop fighting what is. Think about it. How many nights have you lost sleep over things you couldn't change? The message that never came, the love that didn't last, the closure you never received. You see, we suffer not because people leave, but because we refuse to accept that they did. We keep arguing with reality, begging it to be different. But the moment you say, it's okay, it happened, it hurt, but I'll grow from it, that's the moment you reclaim your power. Acceptance doesn't mean weakness, it means strength. The kind that allows you to smile even after heartbreak. The kind that lets you forgive without forgetting. The kind that helps you walk away with peace instead of bitterness. Because when you stop fighting what's gone, you make space for what's meant to arrive. So breathe, stop replaying the what-ifs, and start trusting the what's next. The strongest hearts aren't the ones that never break. They're the ones that learn to accept, heal, and still love again. That's not weakness, that's power. Lesson number 6. Remember, everything is temporary. Let me ask you something softly. Do you remember that one moment when you thought the pain would never end? That breakup that shattered you? That silence that felt endless? You thought you'd never smile again, never feel whole again, right? But look at you now, breathing, living, maybe even smiling a little. You survived. That's the beauty of life. Nothing stays forever. Not the laughter, not the heartbreak, not even the storm. Everything is temporary. The Stoics had a saying, memento mori, meaning remember that you must die. It wasn't meant to be sad. It was meant to remind us that every single thing, good or bad, eventually fades. Think about the first time you fell in love, how every text felt like magic, every call made your heart race. But over time, even that intensity softened, and when love faded, it felt like the end of the world. But it wasn't. Because even pain fades. That's what Stoicism teaches, to live fully in the moment without clinging to it. When joy comes, embrace it, but don't fear its ending. When sorrow comes, endure it, but don't believe it will last forever. Imagine sitting by the sea, watching the waves roll in. Each one rises, crashes, disappears, only to be replaced by another. That's how emotions work too. They come, they go, they change. So if you're hurting right now, please remember, this too shall pass. And if you're happy, cherish it, because this too shall pass. Life moves like the tide. What's gone will return in new forms, and what's lost will make room for something better. The Stoics remind us, don't cling, don't fear, just flow. Because when you truly understand that everything is temporary, you stop holding too tightly, stop fearing endings, and start living with a quiet, peaceful gratitude. And that's where real freedom begins. And the last lesson, your reaction defines you, not their action. Let me ask you something honestly. Has someone ever said something that cut so deep, it stayed in your mind for days? Maybe they ignored your message on purpose. Maybe they walked away when you needed them the most. And even after they left, their words echoed in your heart, like a song you didn't want to hear but couldn't stop replaying. You felt angry, didn't you? You wanted to show them they were wrong. You wanted to react, to defend yourself, to prove your worth, to make them feel the pain they caused you. But here's what Stoicism teaches us. Your reaction defines you, not their action. Epictetus once said, "When someone provokes you, remember it's not them that disturbs you, but your judgment about them. And when you truly understand that, everything changes." See, you can't control how people treat you, but you can control how much power you give them over your peace. When someone disrespects you and you respond with anger, you hand them your control. But when you stay calm, silent, composed, you show them that your emotions belong only to you. Imagine this. Your ex says something cruel out of bitterness. The old you might have cried or argued endlessly, but the Stoic in you now just smiles softly and walks away. Not because you don't feel, but because you refuse to give someone else the key to your peace. That's real strength. That's emotional maturity. You see, storms don't destroy mountains. They just pass by them. Be that mountain. Let their words, actions, and chaos pass without shaking your ground. Because in the end, people will reveal who they are through their actions, and you will reveal who you are through your reaction. So choose calm over chaos, dignity over drama, and peace over pride. That's not weakness. That's what it truly means to be Stoic. At the end of the day, relationships are not measured by how long they've lasted, but by how much peace, growth, and love they've given you. Sometimes holding on feels like love, but in reality, it's fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of losing someone who already lost interest long ago. But here's the truth. Peace is always a better companion than pain. The moment you choose yourself, your sanity, your dignity, your self-worth, that's the moment you truly win. So if someone constantly ignores you, disrespects you, or makes you question your value, remember, it's not your job to convince them to love you. It's your job to walk away from anything that makes you forget how to love yourself. Because when you let go of what hurts you, you make room for what heals you. With that said, thanks for watching. And if this message touched your heart even a little, make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a in the comments, and share this video with someone who needs this reminder today. Until next time, protect your peace, value your worth, and never settle for half love.